Talk 2 fluency from beginner to fluent.
Take your English skills to the next level.
Have you ever been caught totally off guard, needing to speak clearly, confidently, right there on the spot?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe introducing someone important or giving immediate feedback in a meeting or answering one of those curveball questions. It's that moment, right, where your brain just feels like it freezes up and you're desperately wishing you could just, think fast and talk smart.
Happens to the best of us.
If that sounds familiar, well, you're definitely in the right place today. We're doing a deep dive into some really practical, powerful techniques. The idea is to help you become more effective, more confident in those spontaneous speaking situations.
Whether that's, a big meeting or just a casual chat or even suddenly having to give a toast.
Exactly. So to kick us off, let's try a fascinating little test. It's quick, it's simple, but it really highlights a core challenge here. I want you to just silently read this sentence I'm about to show you. Okay. And as you read it, count the number of F's you find. Just, keep that number in your head for a second. Pause. Finished files are the result of years of scientific study combined with the experience of years. Okay, take a moment. Got your number. How many did you find? If you're like most people, probably 3, maybe 4, 5 if you were really, really focused.
That sounds about right.
But if you found 6, you're actually in a pretty small group. So what was that little 2-letter word ending in F that so many of us just skimmed right over?
It's of, isn't it?
It's of, yeah.
It's incredible, really. It shows how our brains filter things out. That tiny word of, it just becomes sort of invisible. Not because we aren't smart, obviously, but our minds just process it differently.
And that's the analogy for spontaneous speaking.
Exactly. It mirrors that challenge perfectly. It's usually not about the big planned speeches, It's about those quick, everyday, on-the-spot moments.
Like responding to a question or introducing someone.
Or giving quick feedback, yeah. These moments are way more common than formal presentations, but we often miss those small F's, the little things that could make a huge difference. And actually, this deep dive today, it's built on insights from a workshop designed precisely for that, helping people master these everyday conversations, helping them think fast and talk smart in English.
Okay, so if we're talking about being on the spot, we absolutely have to address the elephant in the room.
Right.
Anxiety.
Right.
For so many people, just the thought of spontaneous public speaking brings on this, deep-seated fear. I mean, studies rank it up there with really serious anxieties like identity theft.
It's true.
It makes you wonder, why? Why is it so scary for us? What are we really afraid of?
That's such a crucial point. And look, if it affects so many of us, maybe the goal shouldn't be to, eliminate anxiety altogether. You probably wouldn't even want to.
Really? Why not?
Well, think about it. That nervous energy, it can actually be useful. It sharpens your focus, gives you that adrenaline boost, and it signals that what you're doing, it actually matters to you. The real insight, I think, is that your main job as a communicator, spontaneous or planned, is to make your audience comfortable.
Okay.
Think about it. When you watch someone who's visibly nervous, shaking, voice trembling, how does that make you feel?
Uncomfortable. Kind of anxious for them.
Exactly. You get disengaged, right? If your audience isn't at ease, they just can't properly receive your message, no matter how brilliant it is.
Right. So that familiar spiral starts. Stomach churns, hands shake, you start sweating.
Yeah.
And then you tell yourself, oh, no, I'm nervous. This is going to be terrible.
And that self-talk, that internal monologue, that's what we need to interrupt. There's some great research on mindful attention that offers a really powerful technique here. When those physical symptoms pop up the butterflies, the shakes simply greet your anxiety.
Greet it. Like, hello, anxiety.
Pretty much, yeah. Acknowledge it without judgment. You could say to yourself, okay, this is me feeling nervous. I'm about to do something important. By just greeting it, you kind of normalize it. You stop that negative spiral before it takes hold. It might not make the anxiety vanish instantly, but it stops it from completely hijacking you. It's a simple thing, but honestly, it's a game changer.
Okay, that makes sense. Another thing is, I think many of us feel like we have to perform when we speak spontaneously. Like there's a right way and a wrong way, almost like acting.
That's a really common trap, and it adds so much unnecessary pressure, doesn't it? But presenting, or even just answering a question, it isn't acting. There's no single perfect script you have to follow.
So what's the alternative mindset?
See it as a conversation, not a performance. That's a huge perspective shift. Even if you're doing most of the talking, framing it in your head as a dialogue changes everything. Here's a really practical tip. Start with questions whenever you can. Questions are naturally conversational, right? They pull the audience in and make the whole thing feel less like a monologue.
Huh. Even just outlining with questions instead of bullet points.
Absolutely. I do that all the time. It puts me in that conversational headspace right from the start. And another thing, use conversational language.
What do you mean by that? Avoid jargon.
Well, yes, but also avoid that kind of distancing language people sometimes adopt when they're nervous. One must consider the implications of, or firstly, step one involves.
Right, very formal.
Instead, use inclusive, direct words, pronouns like we, you. Say things like, this is important to you because, or first, we need to look at this. It helps the audience feel connected, sure, but it also helps you feel more relaxed, like you're just talking with people.
Okay, so managing the initial anxiety, seeing it as a conversation. But what about that feeling of worry? Worrying about what happens next? Like, will they like my answer? Or will I get the funding? Or will people laugh?
Ah, yes, the future worry trap. That's a big driver of anxiety, isn't it? Thinking about future consequences completely pulls you out of the present moment.
So the key is to become more present-oriented.
Exactly, because when you're fully present, right here, right now, those future worries tend to lose their power. Your nervousness naturally goes down.
How do we do that? Just tell ourselves, be present.
If only it were that easy. No, there are concrete things you can do. Some people find physical activity helps, like a brisk walk around the block just before, not necessarily P90X in the hallway.
Okay, good.
Listening to certain kinds of music can really ground you. Even a simple mental task, like counting backwards from, say, 100 by 17s. It forces your brain to focus now.
Counting backwards by 17 sounds challenging.
It is. That's the point. But here's one I really love, and it's often overlooked. Tongue twisters.
Tongue twisters, seriously.
Seriously. Try saying this quickly. I slit a sheet. A sheet I slit. And on that slitted sheet I sit.
Mumbling attempt, I slit a sheet. Cheat.
You have to be completely in the moment to even attempt it. You can't be worrying about what comes next or what people think. Your brain is totally focused on just getting the words out. And bonus, it warms up your voice, which nervous speakers often forget to do. In that moment you tried, you weren't worried about anything else, were you? You were just focused on the task at hand. That's being present.
Okay, interesting. So we've talked about managing anxiety, shifting the mindset to conversation, being present. What's next? What are the actual strategies for, crafting what we say when we're put on the spot?
Right. So beyond managing the nerves, there are 4 really critical steps for effective spontaneous speaking. And the very first one, well, it's acknowledging that the biggest obstacle is often just ourselves.
Ourselves? How so?
We get in our own way. We want to be perfect. We want the right answer immediately. So our brain starts stockpiling ideas, overthinking, trying to master the situation before we even speak. Step 1 is simply get out of your own way.
Easier said than done, maybe.
It takes practice. We use an exercise sometimes called shout the wrong name. It sounds silly, but you just point at things, a pen, a chair, a window, and call them anything but what they are. Point at the pen, say banana. What happens immediately is your brain tries to find a pattern. It tries to figure out the right way to be wrong. It wants to master the game. But that very impulse, that planning, actually stops you from being truly spontaneous.
I see.
The lesson is, there is no wrong way to play that game. Just doing it is the right way. It's training your brain to let go of the overthinking and just respond. And this leads to a really powerful idea borrowed from improv. Dare to be dull.
Dare to be dull. That doesn't sound very inspiring.
I know, but think about it. Trying too hard to be brilliant often makes you freeze. If you give yourself permission to just be okay to be dull, you actually free yourself up. Sometimes greatness follows naturally when you stop striving so hard for it. It's about a genuine response, not a perfectly crafted, overthought reaction.
Okay, get out of my own way, dare to be dull. What's step 2?
Step 2 is about how you perceive the situation itself. It's so easy to see spontaneous speaking moments as challenges or even threats, right? Like you said, a Q&A can feel adversarial. Cool. So the second step is to actively reframe the situation as an opportunity. It's not a threat, it's a chance to clarify something, to share your view, to understand someone better, to connect.
So instead of dreading introducing someone, see it as an opportunity to, highlight their strengths.
Exactly. It completely changes your energy and your approach. Mm-hmm. We illustrate this with another fun game called the imaginary gift exchange.
Okay.
So I give you an imaginary gift, you open it, and just say the very first thing that pops into your head that you see. Let's say you say, a rubber chicken.
Rubber chicken. Right.
Then I, the gift giver, immediately have to say, I knew you wanted a rubber chicken because, and I just make up a reason on the spot.
Ah, so you have to instantly make sense of the unexpected.
Yes. It forces you to take whatever is given, no matter how random, and instantly reframe it as something positive, an opportunity to build on. It perfectly embodies that key improv principle, yes and.
Yes and. I've heard that. It means accepting what's offered and adding to it.
Precisely. Instead of shutting things down with no but, which we often do defensively, yes and, fosters this open, collaborative, opportunity-focused way of communicating.
Okay, step 1. Get out of my own way. Step 2. Reframe as an opportunity using yes and. What's step 3?
Step 3 addresses another common pitfall. In a rush to respond, we often don't really truly listen.
Guilty. We listen just enough to figure out what we're going to say next.
Exactly. But remember that core idea? Your job is to be in service of your audience. You can't possibly do that if you haven't genuinely understood their question, their comment, their need. So step 3 is crucial. Slow down and listen.
How do we force ourselves to do that in the moment?
Well, we have another slightly absurd-sounding exercise for this, the spell everything you say game. You have a simple conversation with someone, maybe about weekend plans, but you have to literally spell out every single word as you speak.
Wow. THATSOUNDSSLOW.
Yeah, it is incredibly slow. But what does it force you to do?
Focus. Really focus on every single letter, every word. You can't possibly think ahead.
Exactly. It demands intense focus and active listening. You have to be totally present just to follow the conversation and respond correctly. It drives home the point behind our third maxim. Don't just do something, stand there.
Don't just do something, stand there. Pause, listen, then act.
Precisely. Take that beat, listen fully, then respond thoughtfully. It's incredibly powerful.
Okay, that's 3 steps. Get out of the way, see opportunity, listen deeply. But then there's still the challenge of, okay, I've listened, now what do I say and how do I say it? That feels like doing 2 things at once.
It is doing 2 things at once, and that cognitive load is huge. This is where structure becomes your absolute best friend, and that's step 4.
Structure. Doesn't that contradict spontaneity?
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But actually, structure enables spontaneity. Think about it. Structured information is processed way more effectively. Studies suggest maybe 40% more effectively than just a jumble of ideas.
Like chunking a phone number.
Exactly like chunking a phone number. Having a simple mental framework, a structure, reduces the mental effort you spend on how to organize your thoughts. It frees up your brain to focus on the actual content. So structure, ironically, sets you free. It helps you think fast and talk smart.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What kind of structures are we talking about?
There are lots, but 2 are incredibly useful for all sorts of spontaneous situations. First one, problem, solution, benefit, or PSB.
Problem, solution, benefit.
Okay, you state the problem or the issue, you propose your solution, and then you clearly outline the benefits. Simple, clear, effective. You can adapt it too. Opportunity, solution, benefit.
Got it. What's the second one?
Second one is what, so what, now what, or WSN.
What, so what, now what?
You explain what something is, then you explain why it matters, that's the so what, and finally you clarify the next steps, now what. This is brilliant for answering questions, giving updates, even making introductions. Think, who is this person? So what, why are they important here? Now what should we do next?
Wow, okay. PSB and WSN. Those seem really practical.
They really are. We practice using them with an exercise like sell a slinky. You just grab one of those structures and try to sell a slinky on the spot. It forces you to organize your thoughts quickly using that framework. It works.
That's fantastic. So these core techniques, managing anxiety, the mindset shifts, the 4 steps, they build a strong foundation. But what about, trickier situations when things get tough or maybe your audience isn't even in the room with you?
Yeah, that's a great question. Let's touch on a few of those specific scenarios. How about dealing with, say, challenging interactions, like a really hostile question in a Q&A?
Yes, please.
Okay, first, anticipation is key. Know your audience, know the context. Try not to be completely blindsided. But when that tough question comes, step 1 is to acknowledge the underlying emotion without labeling the person.
So don't say, wow, you sound really angry.
Probably not a good idea. It just escalates things. Instead, try something like, I hear a lot of passion around this issue, or I think there's real concern here. It validates without accusing.
Okay, then what?
Then reframe. Gently steer the question towards something you can answer productively. If someone blasts you with, why is your pricing so ridiculously high? You might rephrase. So you're asking about the value our customers receive for the price, or let's talk about the factors that contribute to the cost. And honestly, your absolute best tool here, your Swiss Army knife, is paraphrasing.
Just repeating the question back.
Not just repeating, but summarizing it in your own words. So if I understand correctly, you're concerned about X. It does 3 things. Buys you a crucial second to think, ensures you've actually understood the real question, and gives you a chance to subtly reframe it. It's magic.
Paraphrasing. Got it. What about when people aren't physically there?
Yes.
Like remote audiences on a video call.
Yes. That takes extra intentional effort, doesn't it? You lose so many of those nonverbal cues, you really have to actively engage them. Ask them to imagine scenarios. Use built-in tools like polls or Q&A features. Maybe even use collaborative things like a shared document where they can type brief input. The key is varying your approach and specifically calling on or referencing the remote folks to keep them feeling included and present.
Makes sense. And what about using humor spontaneously? Seems risky.
It is risky. Humor is so dependent on culture, personality, context. It can connect powerfully, but it can also fall incredibly flat or worse, offend.
So avoid it.
Not necessarily, but be very careful. The absolutely safest bet is usually self-deprecating humor. Making gentle fun of yourself humanizes you and is least likely to backfire. But always test a joke out on someone else first if you can. Have a plan B in case it bombs. And, honestly, if you have any doubt at all, just skip it. Seriously. A bad joke is much worse than no joke.
Good advice. Okay, one more. What if you're the one asking the spontaneous question, trying to get a real answer from someone, maybe like a journalist?
Ooh, good one. 2 powerful techniques there. First, embrace the simple power of why. Just keep asking why. Gently, respectfully, but persistently. It helps you dig past the superficial, practiced answers.
Like peeling an onion.
Exactly. The second technique is asking for advice. Instead of just asking what happened, try asking, what advice would you give to someone else facing this situation?
Why does that work?
It shifts the dynamic. People often open up more, become more reflective and authentic when they're positioned as a wise advisor rather than someone being interrogated. You often get much richer insights that way. So look, wrapping this all up, the main thing to remember is that you do have the tools. You have the capability right now to be a more compelling, more confident, more connected speaker, even on the fly. We've talked about managing that anxiety, greeting it, reframing things as conversations, getting present, and then those 4 core steps. Getting out of your own way, seeing opportunities everywhere, really slowing down to listen, and using structure to free yourself up.
And it really sounds like practice is key. These aren't magic tricks, right?
Yeah.
They're skills you build.
Absolutely. Like building muscle memory. The more you consciously try these things, even in low-stakes situations, maybe using PSB when explaining something to your kids or playing shout the wrong name for 30 seconds, the more natural it becomes. You're building those think fast, talk smart in English muscles.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening.
Yeah.
Just consider how many interactions you have every single day that are actually opportunities for spontaneous speaking.
Loads of them.
What if you approached just one of them a little differently today? Maybe tried paraphrasing or used the WSN structure. What might shift for you? Something to think about. See you later, and Talk to Fluency YouTube channel. Subscribe for more. Bye.
Talk to Fluency from beginner to fluent.
Take your English skills to the next level.